What's going on, Jerome's Minnesota Fighting Vikings 53-man rooster and initial practice squad is set, basically, right? Kwesi, I know that Kwesi gets pooped for the 2022-2023 draft, but just a roster full of dogs. Whether it's a mishmash of free agents or UDFAs, a couple draft picks, a couple trades, do not care in this last. That's what gets me about people complaining about 2022, 2023, even though Spivens' last four drafts outside of Jefferson, Darisaw, Metellus, and O'Neal, didn't do much. No. But this roster offensively, especially the quick patchwork thinking, because Addison suspension expected, but Naylor hurt, Felton not ready, no one else really stepping up. Lucky Jackson literally dropped his chance. I don't know. Jefferson with the mild hamstring strain. Defensively, this defense is just going to be after it, and it's going to be amazing, right? So by hook or by crook, yes, ideally you want to hit on your draft picks, but there are many other ways to assemble just a badass team, and this is certainly one of them, right? So here are 11. Once questions about the Vikings 53-man rooster and practice squad. Number 1, who will QB2 work for? So it's going to be Wentz. Right, once Carson Wentz gets up to speed, but it's going to be interesting. Like week 1, Monday Night Football against the Bears, Brosmer and Wentz are both active, but who's going to be listed as the third emergency quarterback? The guy can't come in to play without quarterback 1, quarterback 2 being incapacitated, right? And I think eventually they want the veteran Wentz to take over, but I mean, Brosmer's looked really good, right? And what would he do with the first team offense? Yes, against ones, but it'd be kind of interesting, right? And long story longer, preseason's interesting. It's like all these guys are our heroes, and then we hope that they never play a single down in the regular season. Like Brosmer's a bro, dude, but I don't want him playing any snaps of consequence. Like the end of a blowout, sure, but JJ McCarthy, in him we trust. Question number 2, not that. Just really good with things. 4 running backs, question mark. So the Vikings kept 4 running backs. Don't have a fullback, which we'll get to, but running backs, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and then unofficial depth chart, whatever. They list Ty Chandler over Xavier Scott. Xavier Valade is on the practice squad. So is this more of a holding spot? If and when the Vikings do add a cornerback, do they let go of one of the running backs? Do they replace him on the practice squad? Replace Valade on the practice squad? Don't know. Right, but it is interesting. Even though the Vikings do have this new dedication to running the football, I know 4 running backs on the 53, a little bit uncommon, especially given the Vikings over the last couple of years as well. Next up, number 3, fullback with no Ham. So, as we said, the Vikings want to get back to running the football. They put C.J. Ham as well as rookie edge rusher Tyler Batty on the injured reserve designated for return, so they don't count against the 53 at initial 53 being set on Tuesday, as well as they're eligible to return after 4 weeks. And with Ham, like it did seem like the Vikings want to use more 2 running back sets. So whether it's 2 tailbacks with Jones and Mason, whether it's a tailback and a fullback, we'll see. Now, who will fill in some of the fullback reps? Will the Vikings add someone potentially on the practice squad as a game day call-up? We had said before that Giovanni Ricci did have some fullback experience, and maybe Vanett gets in there. Maybe Josh Oliver gets in there as a fullback H-back, which would be pretty damn good. Urasek as well does have some blocking prowess. So I'm sure that there's answers within the rooster, but it'll be interesting to see how the Vikings do take the field, looking to run the ball more with C.J. Ham up on blocks for the time being. Next up, number 4. What's Thielen's role when 3 is freed? So his initial role obviously is wide receiver 2, and he can be good over the middle of the field, third down, red zone, chemistry with J.J. McCarthy. All that's been talked about to death. But what happens when Addison returns? All right, and Addison, who looked really, really damn good in training camp, that chemistry with J.J. McCarthy is really damn legit, and Jefferson and Addison are clear 1-1-2. Does Thielen, does his role sort of fade? What does he do? Do the Vikings run a lot of 11 personnel? So one running back, 1 tight end, 3 receivers. Is it strictly going to be restricted to red zone work, short yardage work, It's possible, right? But it's a good problem to have. Also, what happens to Jalen Naylor? And the Vikings stuck by him. They could have easily waived him. They could have put him on IR designated for return, but they feel confident that he's going to be available early in the season. Does he have a role early on without Addison? Does he have a role with Addison? TBD. Next up, number 5, 10 linemen. So the norm is keeping 9 offensive linemen on the 53, a couple on the practice squad, but the Vikings actually have 13 offensive linemen in the fold, with the 3 on the practice squad with Bird, Vershawn Lee, as well as the international pathway player Max Preacher, the Italian. And we'd speculate that maybe they're looking to trade Brandel, possibly. Yeah. But School, Huber, Juergens, Brandel, Rouse as the backups to Darisaw Jackson, Kelly, Fries, O'Neal. Like, I'm perfectly fine with it, and maybe it's something that gets sorts out. Like, if the Vikings do need a roster spot later beyond the Ty Chandler spot, whether they had a cornerback, another receiver, whatever, maybe they do send one of these players either in trade or down to the practice squad through waivers. Next up, defensive side of the ball. Who starts with Allen and Hargrave along the defensive line? So Harrison Phillips got traded, and I think it's going to be a mix. Like, it's going to be a rotation. Who starts really doesn't matter. Like, who gets snaps? Is it going to be Redmond? Redmond was listed as a starter on the first unofficial depth chart. That means nothing. The rookie Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins has really come on, played a lot of first-team reps with the defense in camp as well. LDR, really close training camp and preseason out with a bang. Elijah Williams, Morgan State, rise up. So I think that it's going to be a combination of all 4. Actually, all 6 of them are just going to be in there, mixing it up. You want to keep some mileage off of Allen Hargrave, as they're 2 veterans coming off of injury and also getting older. Just dogs, all 6 of them. Let's go. Next up, number 7. So 10 linebackers. So that's combining off balls as well as edge rushers. So it's not really like a good combination. But AVG, Turner, Grenard, Chamblee, as well as Bo Richter. So they kept Chamblee over Gabriel Murphy, a fan favorite guy who did well. And is there a role? Because the Vikings went 4 deep at the edge last year with Patrick Jones second in the mix. Are the reps just split up between AVG, Grenard, or Turner, or does Chambliss get in there? All college teammate Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins as well. Then off-ball wise, so we had expected 4. They kept Austin Keys. Maybe they thought that he would have gotten claimed on waivers, just like Dorian Mausey did, as the Vikings were whittling down the 53-man roster. And Keys, I think, played great. Mausey also played great against Tennessee, which is a team that claimed him, which is funny. And a lot of these backup linebackers, how do they contribute on special teams? Whether it's Wilson, King. King has gotten praise from Coach Hatt. Wilson's been a star special teams playmaker when he was with that other team that shall not be named, of course. And also, I think that kept Chamblee over a guy like Gabriel Murphy because of his special teams prowess. So that's where the depth is going to come into play. Next up, number 8, cornerback. So this is actually question 1, but my brain, I like going down the chart. But Rodgers, Okudah, Murph, those are your starting 3. And in general, teams generally just use 3 cornerbacks. Like, there isn't like a rotation in there, whatever. But depth is obviously important because things happen, as well as special teams depth. Newton McLaughlin's the only other cornerback on the 53. They do have the young guy, Zamiah Vaughn, UDFA from Utah, in the mix, has length and power on the outside, and they brought back veteran Fabian Moreau. Moreau's basically in his role last year as cornerback 5, just chilling in case of emergency, break glass. He's on the practice squad. They can have game day elevations, but do they add a cornerback? Do they bring back Stephon Gilmore? Is he cool being quarterback 4 or 5? Because I think Rodgers, Okudah, and Murphy is rock solid as the first 3. Do they make a trade? Do they make a splash? Do they do lots of things? So TBD. But right now, something's going to happen. Also, this feeds into number 9. Tavierre Thomas. So Tavierre Thomas is a special teamer, but also he has had a fistful of snaps in the last couple of years on defense. Notably, he's basically a starter for a year with the Texans, primarily playing in the slot. Now, is he listed as a corner or safety? It really does not matter. But if he does contribute on defense, where is he going to be lining up? That's going to be the question. Also, carry on my Jared son. Could play a little bit corner as well. Next up, number 10, Ryan Wright remains, but will he remain? Right, and the Vikings, they didn't pick up international pathway player Oscar Chapman, not on the 53, not even on the practice squad, and Wright had a bit of a tenuous hold on the job, pun intended, but do they bring someone in either as competition, because they do have one practice squad spot open, so maybe just another punter, always just sort of, hey, Ryan, you doing good? What's up, buddy? Just peeking over his shoulder, or maybe he's the type of player who doesn't respond well to that. If that's so, too bad. But Wright, maybe he used this as motivation, be like, they've been trying to replace me for 3 years, man. F you. I'm just going to boot the ball. Damn straight, man. Lastly, number 11, midseason moves. And this is interesting because the Vikings, so you got to respect Kwesi in the fact that he is very aggressive at taking care of things if they come up. All right, whether it's injury, Irv Smith going down in 2022, trading for T.J. Hawkinson. He had Darisaw last year, bringing in Cam Robinson. He was very, very quick and very aggressive to react and really go for the pin to improve this roster. And injuries and attrition are part of the game, and generally the team that handles it best are the teams that are standing at the end of the season in the Super Bowl. So that's something that the Vikings have to be very solid at. And they do still have around $30 million in cap space, actually, a little bit less. Well, we'll see once Thielen's official numbers are in. But also, they still have 11 draft picks if you factor in compensatory projections. So the Vikings, I mean, if there's a hole, or if suddenly there's a blockbuster player available and the Vikings still are able to add absolute Avengers while McCarthy is on his rookie deal, I mean, sexy Dexy Lawrence one time, that's what we're talking about. It's going to happen. Like, we spoke it into existence over like 17 years. It's going to happen. Anyways, that's it. That's it. 11 Rooster and practice squad thoughts for the Minnesota Vikings. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. Know what to do. Skol, production value.